Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Masons online classroom. Today, I will share with you the construction of brick columns. This session is the fifth part of the Basic Masonry Skills course, focusing on the construction of brick columns. It consists of two main topics, which are 1. Classification of brick columns. 2. Quality requirements for brick column construction. Firstly, let's delve into the first part of this session. The classification of brick columns. Brick columns are divided into two major types based on their construction method. 1. Isolated brick columns. 2. Inserted brick columns. 1. Isolated brick columns. Isolated brick columns refer to columns designed to bear loads independently, supporting the loads transmitted from upper floors and roofs. They can take various shapes, such as rectangular, square, or circular. When subjected to significant loads, reinforcing mesh or a combination of reinforcement methods can be used in the horizontal mortar joints. Concrete cushion heads should be added to the column ends to distribute concentrated loads evenly to the brick column section. Construction requirements for isolated brick columns include: A. Vertical joints of each skin brick on the column face should stagger at least 1/4 of a brick length, and there should be no continuous vertical joint in the column core. B. The method of filling the core after constructing the surrounding perimeter should be strictly avoided. C. The height of each working section should not exceed 1.8 meters, and no putlog holes are allowed on the column face. If columns are constructed in a row, a guideline should be used to prevent twisting and misalignment. D. When columns and partition walls cannot be constructed simultaneously, chases can be left in the columns, and reinforcement bars should be embedded in the mortar joints at least twice per chase. E. For plain walls with a plain column, horizontal mortar joints should be at the same elevation. F. Inserted brick columns should be constructed simultaneously with the wall and not sequentially. Regardless of the construction method, the vertical joints of the skin on the column face should stagger by 1/2 or 1/4 of a brick length, with no continuous vertical joints in the core, and the two-part brick should be used as much as possible. The use of the perimeter filling method, where the core is filled after constructing the surrounding perimeter, is strictly prohibited. Here, we present the assembly methods for isolated columns, such as 240 mm x 370 mm, 370 mm x 370 mm, 370 mm x 490 mm, 490 mm x 490 mm, etc. It is essential to use bricks with appropriate dimensions, neat edges, and uniform color. When reaching the top of the column, it is crucial to check the alignment, edges, and verticality with a guideline to ensure the correct position of the column. The adjustment of the column elevation should be done gradually in the horizontal mortar joints, strictly avoiding individual adjustments. The horizontal joint thickness and vertical joint width of brick columns should be 10 mm, not less than 8 mm, and not more than 12 mm. The mortar in the horizontal joints should have a saturation degree of no less than 80%, and the vertical joints should also be full without any transparent gaps. No putlog holes are allowed on the column face. 2. Inserted brick columns. Inserted brick columns are also known as attached wall piers. These columns are connected to the wall, jointly supporting beams or roof trusses to enhance the strength and stability of the wall. Construction requirements for inserted brick columns include: the preparation for building brick piers is similar to that of solid brick walls. Brick piers are preferably constructed using sintered common bricks and cement lime mortar. The strength grade of the bricks should not be lower than Mu 7.5, and the mortar strength grade should not be lower than M 2.5. The cross-sectional dimensions of the brick piers should not be less than 125 mm times 240 mm. The construction method of brick piers should be determined based on the wall thickness and the size of the piers. Regardless of the construction method, the piers should be built skin by skin with the wall and should not be detached. The length of each masonry section should be no less than half a brick. In some cases, at least a quarter of a brick. Depending on the need for staggered joints, 1/7 or half bricks may be added. The illustration below shows various methods of constructing brick piers attached to a brick wall. It is essential to note that the construction of brick piers should proceed simultaneously with the wall, ensuring that piers are not built after the wall or vice versa. The daily construction height of the brick piers should be equal to the adjacent wall construction height, maintaining consistency. Moving on to the second part of our lesson, quality requirements for brick column construction. The main control items for quality requirements in brick column construction are: A. The strength grade of bricks and mortar must meet design requirements. B. The saturation degree of the mortar in horizontal joints should not be less than 80%. C. The position and verticality of the brick piers masonry are allowed to deviate within the same tolerances as the brick wall masonry, and the allowable deviation of the position and verticality of brick column masonry should comply with the specifications outlined in Table 1.5. General content for quality requirements in brick column construction includes: A. The use of the perimeter filling method is strictly prohibited. B. Horizontal mortar joints in brick masonry should be level and vertical, with uniform thickness. The thickness of the horizontal is better to be 10 mm, but should not be less than 8 mm or greater than 12 mm. C. General deviations in brick columns and inserted bricks should comply with the provisions in Table 1.6 for allowable dimensional deviations. That concludes our lesson for today. Thank you all for watching.